Hello everyone and welcome back to another video of Fox Reacts. Today we're checking out on kind of a series from True Green 7 turning video game characters into Pokemon. Now from what I can see by the title here is that this is actually the third one he's done, but hey, let's just hop into it and see just who he turns into a new Mon.
Hey guys, Ron here, and this is part 3 of a series where I turn video game characters into Pokemon. I try my best to consider how their abilities translate into Pokemon moves and stats, and you guys enjoyed part 1 where I made Pokemon based on icons like Sonic and Pac-Man, and part 2 with a Samus Pokemon and a Minecraft Steve Pokemon. We'll continue with some more fan-favorite protagonists and even characters that are technically antagonists at some point.
Nice.
Keep in mind that the types and concepts of these Pokemon are not going to literally be the same as their inspiration. Just because I'm making a Mega Man Pokemon, that doesn't mean it's going to be a robot that can copy the weapons of the ones it defeats. I want to create separate, believable Pokemon that have unique concepts based on their origin. Make sure to subscribe because next week I'm releasing part 2 of 4 artist designed Pokemon from the same description. And the week after that is the video where I redesigned the Pokemon you guys submitted.
Alright, cool.
So let's start with the Sans Pokemon,
our
first non-protagonist in this series, although we're still sticking with the most popular character in the Undertale franchise.
No doubt.
I don't want to mess up this already iconic character, and in terms of power and lore, I'm just going to lean into his prankster and comedian side, while balancing it out with his intelligent and apathetic side. It'll be a multi-dimensional ghost type, and I'll try to include his jacket in a clever way, maybe combining it with a Grim Reaper,
maybe like
or
a Red
Flame.
Case or something?
It'll definitely resemble Pokemon like Duskull and Gengar. So I'll start with Sans' iconic face. It'll be mostly untouched, but have more sinister eye holes and no nose hole, just to streamline the design. The signature one pupil. Now I wanted to turn the hood of his jacket into this ghostly hood of a Grim Reaper, but then I realized it looked like fire, so I decided to go in an entirely different route. His head is floating inside blue fire. His lower body looks like hands inside pockets, but in reality it has no hands. Its feet resemble the shoes that jesters wear, but will eventually look more like fire. And I'll make its eye on fire too, kinda like the fan interpretation of Sans' eye glow. Just making him look more mischievous, like he's on a leisurely walk on the way to pull a prank.
Like
and then I'm finalizing the design. Cool. I added these lines to fill in the emptiness, but also mimic the look of a thick spine. I mean, it'll pretty much have Sans' color scheme, but with a more aqua-colored fire. This looks like the mascot for some kind of energy drink, both hot and cold. Here comes Comedium, the Jester Pokemon. This Pokemon is observed to be laid back.
Look at the shiny. That is actually really cool. Well, I like the green with yellow. It actually seems to be... Oh, hold on. Sorry, y'all can't see that because of my camera. Hold on, let me just move over down here for now. Oh, we don't need to see the height and size compared to it. But yeah, look at that shiny. Okay, let's continue on now.
But its fire burns stronger when defending its friends or fighting for justice. Despite its laziness, Comedium is incredibly intelligent. It is thought that its apathy is a result of its higher awareness. It can sense multiple timelines, use telekinesis, and teleport. Comedium loves to partake in leisurely pranks. It is believed that the soul of a court jester was born into this Pokemon. Comedium is very observant and can easily learn information and tricks. This Pokemon can be a true ally or your enemy if you fall down an unsavory path. It has a signature move called Skull Blast, which summons skulls that shoot fire. It's basically a ghost-type move that does 120 damage and has a 30% chance to burn, but Comedium must recharge the turn after. It has 95% accuracy. This move is a reference to Sans' Gaster Blaster, and its ability Keen Eye and Anticipation are a reference to Sans' observance and awareness of the timeline resets, giving him foresight of the opponent's moves. His hidden ability is Prankster. His shiny is a reference to the other color that Sans' eye glows in, representing justice. When coming up with stats for this Pokemon, it was getting pretty obvious that Sans is OP, so I made Comedium a mythical Pokemon. I was so intimidated by the task of making a Pokemon based on Sans.
So what I would have done is given him maybe the lowest that you can, and for an HP stat, but in turn putting all of that into defense. That's because what is Stan known for? If you had said, and his ability to dodge everything, then yes. Yes. Oh, whoops. Double-clicked.
But in the end, it was literally the easiest design I've ever made. It took half the time of a usual design. Everything came into place so quickly. Probably the most accurate to the original character out of any design I made in this series, while still believably looking like a Pokemon. The rest were a bit more difficult.
And who's next?
Next up...
an ad is next.
Pokemon based on ChunLi from Street Fighter.
Alright, looks like ChunLi is next. I'm gonna guess, obviously, Fighter, but maybe File Steel? I mean, Fighting Steel. Why did I say File? I'm sorry, guys.
She's one of the most beautiful video game characters of all time, so it'll be tough making a Pokemon that isn't extremely feminine or humanoid. At the very least, it's really easy to picture what kind of moves and abilities this Pokemon will have. It'll rival Hitmonlee with its kicks. The problem is that I naturally want to base it on some sort of animal, like a rabbit, but Mega Lopunny is pretty much already the kind of Pokemon we want to make.
It's already
even in the same
ChunLi
pose. I could have made ChunLi's ox horns these bunny buns, but instead I'm gonna make it a humanoid Pokemon like Gardevoir or Gothitelle.
Yeah,
so considering
right,
ChunLi has a lot of spheres on her, I'm gonna make this Pokemon consist of a bunch of circles. Her head, chest, shoulders, and head buns will all be spheres. Throughout the process, I'll make her shorter and shorter so she doesn't have the proportions of a human, but I'll try my best to keep her long legs because she has extremely powerful kicks. The legs will be the hardest to finalize. I don't know how to make them powerful without making them muscular and therefore anatomically similar to human legs. Same with the eyes. How do I make them pretty but not too feminine? I guess I'll solve these problems later in the process.
But you just gotta
I think I found the solution for my leg problem though. I'll base her lower body on ChunLi's tracksuit model and make her thighs ball-shaped like the rest of the body so it's more consistent, while also looking way less humanoid. After all, ChunLi's thighs are more famous than her actual legs. She'll be similar to Mr. Mime and Medicham in species. I made her legs stocky instead of long, and inverted the design to check out any inconsistencies. Now it's time to tackle the eye problem. I think this shape is pretty, yet not too on the nose. I'll make her arms as far from human shaped as possible, very sleek yet padded with muscle. Now that we have the body structure, let's add the details. Some Chinese-inspired patterns from ChunLi's costume, and spikes from her wrist weights. I felt like the face was too simple, so I added these protruding fur tufts that look like what Gallade and Gothitelle have on their face.
Oh, that's
just things coming out of the face.
Really nice.
I guess they're horns. Literally just using ChunLi's color scheme, but instead of brown, we'll use gray. The legs looked too plain, so I gave it a white pattern to match ChunLi's boots. And I lowered the face in the final design. Take a look at Kikyute, the resolute Pokemon. This Pokemon stands for justice and good. It is constantly ready to fight against those who commit crimes. It's quite impatient and brash. When confronted with a foe, Kikyute unleashes an endless barrage of kicks. Their leg strength is unmatched. They're very resourceful in battle, especially when protecting innocent people and Pokemon. Kikyute will use the environment to her advantage, and occasionally charges and shoots
Fighting Fairy. Oh, damn, I did not see that coming. I honestly did not see the fairy type.
Balls of energy from their palms as a last resort. Kikyute is very competitive and passionate. They can learn every kicking move in the game and have the abilities Limber and Scrappy with the hidden ability Reckless. They're all female, and Kikyute's shiny is a reference to her black dress alternate costume. I added the fairy type so that Kikyute wasn't too similar to Pokemon like Mienfoo, but also because a lot of her physical traits are shared by Pokemon like Gardevoir and Florges. In my mind, they're evolutionarily related. This is definitely the most humanoid Pokemon I've ever made. It was very challenging to not make her too feminine, but the long and powerful legs were necessary for a Pokemon whose abilities revolve around her legs. As a design itself though, I'm very satisfied. It feels like a Pokemon regardless of what type of Pokemon fans will gravitate towards it. Like, you know, certain artists.
Yeah.
Now it's time for another relatively new video game to get some kind of representation. Splatoon. It actually came out just a few months before Undertale. I mean, we're making a Squid Kid. I'll combine it with the concept of graffiti, but I don't know how that will translate into the design just yet. All I know is that I'm making some kind of fun Squid Kid that can melt into the ink that it shoots. Inklings already kind of suit Pokemon, so all I have to do is combine their squid form with their humanoid form. The squid form is our primary inspiration, so I'm going to draw a sassy version of it with the eyes of the kid form, a mouth, and maybe a set of tentacles that are crossed. I'll add some paint patterns on it, but this can't be the final pose, so I'll recreate it in a more action pose. I want it to look like it's running away from the cops, like it just graffitied some wall. Again, it's pretty simple, so this design didn't take much brain power. Hopefully it doesn't look too bland though. I'm banking on those paint patterns to elevate the design a bit. I'll give it some eyebrows that look like a drop of ink, and I could have gone with an ink pen motif, but this guy has the vibe of a spray painter, not a fancy ink pen. I have the idea that it shoots ink from the pads on its tentacles. That triangle is where the ink comes out of. And it'll have the color scheme of the default female Inkling. Check out Inkkid, the ink Pokemon.
Look at the shiny.
These mischievous Pokemon like to leave their mark on territories by splattering colored ink. They have the ability to melt into this ink and travel through it. They love the thrill of battle and chases. Inkkid come in a plethora of colors and can only travel the same colored ink as theirs. This allows teams of Inkkid to maneuver through their turf while inhibiting the movement of outsider Inkkid. They can stay undetected when swimming in their ink. This Pokemon is actually unable to swim in water, where their ink gets dissolved. They can glow in the dark and enjoy human art. They vandalize walls as a way to replicate the human art and language that they admire. They're easygoing and love fun.
Really cool.
They have the ability Sniper and Infiltrator with the hidden ability Protean. They have a signature move called Inkkid, where they shoot ink around the battlefield, which they can melt into during battle. This raises their evasiveness and speed, but their stats will go back to normal after a water type move is used. It's like a boosted acid armor with a weakness. Their shiny is less of a shiny and more of an alternate color scheme. They have multiple of these. The orange and blue forms are the most common. This design is one of the most similar to the original character since it highly resembles an inkling squid form, but still has elements of its humanoid form, like a mouth, expression, and its ability to use its tentacles as legs.
I actually really
like the personality of this piece of art a lot. I wish I could have given it a more graffiti aesthetic, but that's impossible for me with Pokemon's art style.
Could you make it evolve?
Now it's time for a Mega Man Pokemon.
Hey!
But instead of making something that kinda looks like a Pawniard with a Mega Buster, I'm gonna take Mega Man's Japanese name literally and create a Rockman. Making this Pokemon a rock golem will make it easy to keep Mega Man's appearance and even give it a blaster that it shoots rocks out of. It's gonna be extremely straightforward. So this Pokemon will be in a classic Mega Man pose. It's literally Mega Man but made of rocks. I can't deny it. But the hard part is making it look natural and not too uniform, but still make sense and look like the anatomy of a rock Pokemon. All of its design elements are straight up from Mega Man, but instead of a helmet on a boy, the entire head is a solid rock helmet. Nice. The colors are Mega Man's colors, but I'll darken them so it looks less saturated. I'm opening the mouth and shading it in so you understand the geometry of this Pokemon. And here is Blaster Rock, the blasting Pokemon.
Shiny.
Despite their rigid body and movements, these Pokemon are highly expressive and emotional. They act like human children and enjoy the company of others. But when Blaster Rock or their friends are in trouble, this Pokemon utilizes all of their abilities to take down their foe. Their rock
is the shiny based on Proto Man?
Hide is impenetrable, and they have the ability to shoot rocks from their arm. These rocks range from highly pressurized pebbles to dense stones. Their armor is very polished, which allows them to slide with ease, to dodge their opponent's moves. This Pokemon can technically shoot out anything it finds from its arms. It is highly observant and can copy the battle style of its opponent. Blast rocks from different areas have slightly different colorations, hides, and projectiles. They have the abilities Solid Rock and Mega Launcher with the hidden ability Rock Head. Their shiny is a reference to Zero. I tried my best incorporating some of Mega Man's abilities. I didn't want it to be a straight up robot, so in the end, this rock type Pokemon isn't able to acquire the abilities of the robots it defeats, but can adapt based on its environment. I imagine it has many regional forms, maybe a volcanic version that shoots fire and a forest version that shoots seeds. If you loved this video, leave a like and make sure to check out the previous episode and my other.
And looks like that's where we're gonna end off this video. So before we head off, link to the original video will be down in the description just like normal, and always, I want y'all to remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more, and I'll see all of you folks in the next video, so have a good one.